especially the past ongoing Russian-Ukraine crisis, right? So we know the problem about the anonymous hackers team literally crippled the Russian IT system and banking system for few hours, and it created a dent in Russian system also. So cyber security பத்தி நமக்கு தெரியணும்னு அவசியம் means பத்தி அதிகமா தெரியணும்னு அவசியம் இல்ல, the importance of it, but we all lack in having proper cyber literacy. We know it, but we don't know the in-depth issues and significance of cyber security awareness. As a part of central government initiative, we are conducting the cyber security awareness every month of first Wednesday. So today we have a special speaker, Dr. DEEPALAKSHMI ma'am, our very own contract faculty, will be presenting the cyber security awareness, a part of it. She has a large knowledge and exposure in cyber security, especially in all the concept of cyberspace. And she has completed a doctorate degree of computer science from Madras University. And she has almost 18 years of teaching experience and 8 years of research experience, especially in the field of data mining, algorithm analysis, bioinformatics, cyber crime, and image mining. And she has published very huge articles. It is like a bunch of articles, which is, the list goes very long. To mention a few, Scopus indexed articles are there. And she has published more than five books in her subject discipline. And she served as a coordinator for many international conferences. And she's a keynote speaker in many conferences, and been invited as a resource person, especially in the field of computer science and cyber analysis. To mention a very special thing about her, and she has won the Best Teacher Award in 2017. And she has given as a 7th National Women's Day Award. She was awarded as a Best Teacher. And the list is very long, and the profile of her is very long. She's a good person to teach cybersecurity awareness. She's an apt person for today to speak about the artificial intelligence. So without much delay, let me give the space for her. Ma'am, the time is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you very much, Radhika ma'am, for the detailed profile. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Hon'ble Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dr. N.S. SANTHOSH Kumar sir, Registrar Dr. RANJIT Abraham sir, UG Director Dr. Bhuvneshwari ma'am, PG Director Dr. Kumuratna ma'am, Research Director Dr. Arita Devi ma'am, Head of the Department Dr. Ramani ma'am, COE Dr. Srinivasan sir, IQAC Director, Revati ma'am, Head of the departments of all departments and respected faculties of TNDLU. I, Dr. R. DEEPALAKSHMI, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Applications, deemed it a great privilege in being a resource person for the cyber cell activity on the topic Artificial Intelligence for Cybersecurity. So let's move on to today's session. Is my PPT visible?
No, ma'am, please share your screen. It's not visible.
One second.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
Okay. So what is artificial intelligence and machine learning? So to introduce about how it is related, that is AI and ML, how it is related with cybersecurity. This artificial intelligence and machine learning is a automate the detection of threat and come back even without the involvement of human. So to start with, see, when we are entering into a house, so we no need a security, we need a refrigerator to be on, and we need some air conditioners to be on before that. So everything is involved in artificial intelligence, and using our remote and artificial intelligence concept, we are using that. So we use a remote for opening the gate, no need for security. We use a remote for switching on your air conditioner before we are getting into the houses. But what is the security measures we are taking into that? Okay, so that is what is going to be the concern for today's. So moving on to the agenda, I think my PPT is visible, ma'am. Yes, Radhika ma'am.
Ma'am, sorry.
Yes, my PPT is visible, right, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay,
visible.
fine. So moving on to the agendas of today's session, introduction of artificial intelligence, a threat landscape, types of attacks, what does artificial intelligence means in cybersecurity world, application of AI and ML in cybersecurity, use cases of AI ML in cybersecurity, and futuristic AI ML embedded solutions for cybersecurity. So I'm not going to just move on more technically, as more students are there, the non-technical students are also there. So I'm just going to tell you how it is going to be useful in today's world. So what is, you will be going on like taking out the terms AI, machine learning, deep learning, etc. interchangeably. So how it is interconnected. So AI is an umbrella. Under that it falls the machine learning and deep learning. So what is AI? It is nothing but making a machine think like a human. That is the main concept of AI. And machine learning, the algorithms are being developed by the programmers and the smart developers, and it is being injected to the machines to think more smarter. So what is the use of this machine learning, right? Because our humans tend to do mistakes if we are working for a longer amount of time. But these machines, if it is made very well operatable with the help of some algorithms, definitely it is going to be more smarter than the humans. So what is deep learning? Deep learning uses the concept of neural networks. So when you talk about the concept of neural networks, you all know that how neuron is more important in our body for decision making, right? It is an important part in the brain which is useful for decision making. The same way, this deep learning uses neural networks to humans, to stimulate the humans like decision making. So deep learning is the machine learning applied to large data sets, and this is also a subset of AI. So we can see over here from this diagram, artificial intelligence, a technique which enables machines to mimic human behavior, and machine learning is the subset of artificial intelligence technique which uses statistical methods. So what does it mean by statistical methods? Anything without analysis, we are not going to predict anything, right? So we are going to get the set of information. From the set of information, there is a need for analyzing. So that analyzing part, that common sense part is taken over by the machine learning part, right? Next, under that subset of machine learning is your deep learning. So which makes computation of multi-layer by neural network, which is made very feasible. Okay, so moving on to what is artificial intelligence in detail. Artificial plus intelligence, right? Like you are injecting the intelligence part to the robots, artificial intelligence. It is exhibited by machines rather than humans or animals. So the field of AI defines itself as a study of intelligent agents that perceives its environment and takes actions that maximizes its chance of success at some goal. So the end of the point, we need to have our solution. We need to have our achievement, like what we are done, what it is being done by the machines to the human. So that success goal is achieved by AI. What is ML? So as I told you, ML provides the opportunity for the system to automatically learn without being explicitly programmed. That is, a set of, say, data or data analytics will be stored in the process. So with the set of examples, the decision making is done by the machine learning. So study of computer algorithms that improves automatically through experience without any human intervention. That is more important, right? Because it reduces the work of humans. Once it is programmed, once it is correctly programmed, definitely without human intervention, it is going to perform better. What are the threat landscape and different types of attacks. So moving on to the cyber part. So now we have known what is the introduction of what is AI, what is machine learning, what is deep learning. So now we are coming on to the threat parts, and we can also call it as a vulnerability parts. Okay. So threat landscape is also called as threat environment, right? So whenever you are going to use your system, I need to just mention this point. Think before you click. Yes, I used to tell to my BCA students, think before you click. Because when you are using your internet, either it may be in your mobile devices or it is in your laptop, okay, the threat is going to be there. It is surrounded by you. So it is like just like entering into the forest. It is up to you to protect yourself. So what are all the types of threats and how this artificial intelligence helps you to protect and come out of the threat, right? Okay. So generally we call a common name as malware, all the threats. So there are different types of threat. Threat is a threat, whether it is going to be a pandemic or whether it is going to be a Varda flood, everything is a threat. So there are different threats and everything is vulnerable, and how it is attacking your system, that we will be seeing in a short bit. Okay. So term used to define the malicious software, which includes, that is this malware, includes computer virus, spyware, adware, worms, and Trojan horses. So malware reaches the system through attacks, that is vulnerability. So when the attack will come, whenever you are going to open the email attachment, which is from the unauthorized users. So when the threats or viruses will be there, and it is going to lock your entire system. Okay, next, what are worms? Worms is also a virus. Worms is a virus. It is a computer program. When it gets into the system, it keeps on replicated, and it overall diminishes the system to work. It hangs the system totally. Okay. So once it started from one infected machine, they weave their way to the network connecting consecutive machines in order to spread the infection. This kind of malware infects entire system extremely quickly. Very rapidly it is going to spread. And next important thing is spyware. So when I want to talk about spyware, I want to tell a statement. Never leave your systems unattended. Never leave your systems unattended. Either it is going to be your laptop or your mobile devices. Please don't let your system unattended, because the spyware is the threat which can be injected in your mobile devices or laptops, where it is going to act as a spy. It is not necessary that a person is going to walk in front of you or back of you just to spy. When your mobile is going to be with you, definitely someone is spying with you if there is a spyware in your system. So you have to be very careful in that. So as the name suggests, it is designed to spy on what the user is doing. So hiding on the background of the computer, this type of malware will collect information without the user's knowledge. The user will not be known that the spyware is there in his system. So what is the use of spying someone? Definitely to get some confidential information. So any confidential information, whether it is going to be a credit card detail or password or any sensitive information, this spyware is going to be affected. That is affect your system. Next is Trojans and adwares. So Trojan is also a type of like malware or any attack. So it creates the backdoor that eases other malware to produce easy access. So that is why we suggest to update your firewalls. So what is a firewall? Firewall is just a protection for your system such that no viruses enter into your system, right? So last one is the adware. So adware, I think nowadays most common crowd, because we see most of the advertisements popping up whenever you are using a particular web page, when you are visiting a web page. So these are all, you can call it as a slow poison. All the viruses are poison, but this I can call it as a slow poison, because it slowly gets into your computer and it hangs your computer not in a single day, but whenever you are going to use that again and again. Next is how to stop the malware. So now we have known, like these are all the attacks which are available. These are all the viruses. These are all the malwares which are available. So how to protect ourselves from this malware? So the first one, as I told you before, think before you click. That is, don't ever click any suspicious links. Okay. So stop clicking on suspicious links. Every links will be like, it will be like it is from the authorized users. The authorized users are sent. But only when you read the URL clearly, read the message clearly, you will be knowing it is from the unauthorized users. Always study the URL consciously and make sure you're not on the counterfeit part. Update your firewall. Why do you need to? I have installed a firewall. What is the necessity of updating a firewall? Because if you are going to, there are more and more viruses which may come yesterday or which is rising today, which is rising tomorrow. So only if you update your firewall, it is going to stop all that sort of viruses. So updating your operating system is also more important, whether it is going to be a Mac or Linux or Windows, updating your operating system also equally important. Okay, so that is what previously we have seen the email messages, that part you call it as a spoofing. Okay, that is the spammed mails, you call it as a spoofing. And next part you call it as a phishing, that is the fraudulent communication that comes from a reputable source. So main motto of this phishing is to steal the sensitive information like credit card, confidential data, and impersonating, etc. So most of the attacks on financial institutions for the past 3 years have not been through brute force attacks. We will be seeing what is brute force attacks. It has been through acquiring user passwords, this technique. Okay, you would term it as phishing. And next is your password attack. So before going on to what is password attack, I'll be just telling you, I think you will all be knowing about what do you mean by a hacker. So hacker is some person who is going to steal your information from your system or from your mobile. Okay. Okay. That hacker is again classified into two types. Generally, there are more types, but broadly classified into white hat and black hat hackers. So what are black hat hackers? Unauthorized hacker, you call it as a black hat. And those who are working in a software company for some testing purposes or in cybersecurity cell, they call him as a white hat hackers. For some purpose he is working on to. And in between that, you call it as a gray hat hackers. He may sometimes work as a white hat hacker, and sometimes he may work as a gray hat hackers. Okay. So these hackers are there into the system. So how they are attacking using their password. Okay, so I want to say like this COVID time, when you see the analysis of COVID report, more hackers are, I think so around 60 to 65% of hackers are higher. So because due to unemployability, many have lost their jobs with much knowledge. They know how to hack the systems. So there are many thefts, not only physical thefts, even hacker thefts are there. So we need to be very careful in our point of view. Okay, so what are all the, and most of the hackers, it seems it's very difficult to see that they are in the age group of 20 to 35. The most of the hackers now are in the age group of 20 to 35. Okay, so what are the password attacks? Brute force attack, dictionary attack, keylogger attack. So if first initially is going to train, is going to come like a hacker. That hacker is called as a brute force attack. That means you will be using just a permutation combination of how to just putting the password. Just see if it comes, okay. If it goes, no problem, like that. Okay. Next is a dictionary attack. So what do you mean by dictionary attack? That is, he will be knowing the psychology of you. That is, you would have collected some field work. That is, what is your name? What is your password? What is your, what is your date of birth? What is your child name, etc. Right? Because some persons will be, we mostly used to have the tendency of keeping the password with the name and date of birth together. So that means he is at high risk. He can definitely able to get your passwords. Okay. So that is the dictionary attack. Next is the keylogger attack. So this keylogger attack is more or less stimulated or more or less connected to the spyware, because when the keylogger attack is there, like whenever you just press the key like A, it will be known to him. The key will be known to him. So definitely when you are going to type your password, this password is going to be known by him. So this is called as the keylogger attack. So these are the three types of attack. So we have to be very careful in formulating the password. And in the next step, definitely we are going to see how to stop the password attacks. I think everyone knows But how many of us follows? Definitely, I can tell only 30% will follow. Everyone knows the technique, how to stop the password attacks, because previously I can say 6 to 7 years before, we are using only single mail ID. Either it may be Rediff mail or Yahoo mail or Google mail, you will be having only single mail ID. But now we are using more mail IDs, one for commercial purpose, one for academic purpose, one for other groups, relatives groups. We are using many mail IDs. So what is the gap? What is the gap over there is the password weak security, right? Because we are not able to remember the password for 5 to 6 mail IDs. So what we used to do, just keep the password, one password capital letter, another password in small letter, and another using alphanumeric. The same thing, more or less everything is going to be related. So please don't ever use like that. So my small suggestion or my small tip, okay, which I can tell you is, use the concept of encryption. I think so. See, this is not a technical term. Nowadays, these are all encryption, cyber. These are all not at all a technical terms, and everyone should know about it. So encryption is converting from plain text to ciphertext. Okay, that is coding and decoding. In short, if I can say, for example, if I want to remember all the passwords, I'm having say 5 mail IDs. I am writing in my diary 5 mail IDs and 5 password. If the diary is lost, okay, whoever takes it, all my information is going to go there, right? Instead of that, you just encrypt your data. For example, instead of A, you encode it as 1, B, 2, C, 3. So if you write it as 1, 2, 3, just for an example, I am telling, if you write it as 1, 2, 3, only I know that it means ABC, and if anyone takes a notebook, definitely is not going to understand whether it is going to be ABC or 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is the form of encoding and encryption which everyone can follow, I think, right? So it's always a great idea to change the password. So how to change the password? See, one mail ID definitely you will be using frequently. So that mail ID password can be changed at least a month, once in a month. For those mail ID which you are not using frequently, you can change the password 3 months once, like that. Okay, and password shouldn't be same for everything, and you should use alphanumeric. When setting a password in general, the best practices should be followed. I think you all know what is the best practices. It will also show you it is strong, it is weak, if you are going with only alphabets, like that. Okay, and it's a great idea to use a password that only makes sense to you and not with others. Okay, so I can relate this with IPR, like the patent is given or the trademark is given only if it is not related. If it is related, it is not given, right? Like that, right? So it should not be no way related. The password should no way related to you. In that way, it should be like that. Okay. So next is DDoS, that is distributed denial of service. So in technical term, if I call it is a packet flooding. Okay, it is also called as a botnet. So what is a botnet? A collection of systems connected online, you call it as a botnet. Okay, so it is easy to hack, it is easy to attack. So how to prevent from this hacking is, you can use a traffic analysis, that is in what way the data is being distributed from one system to other system. I don't want to go more technically because other students are also there. So it is just for you to know, these are all the things it is happening. Okay, so traffic control, how you can control the data which can be passed from one system to other system, and recovery management from any traffic we must be able to recover, right? So these DDoS is connected to botnet. Botnet is a connection of multiple devices which are interconnected. Next is man in the middle. So this occurs when attackers try to attack in two-way transactions. For example, you may be using unsecure public Wi-Fi, and next is using the malware. So one more thing I want to tell is, never use the Wi-Fi which are common, right? So it is not secure, and the hackers may be easily hacking your system. So use only whenever you are doing transaction, use your own devices, use your private Wi-Fi, etc. Okay, be sure in that. Next, the best way of preventing is, as I told you, encryption. Encryption of WAP, that is wireless access point, which prevents unwanted users to enter into your system. Always check the security of your connection. Use browsers which are known and trustworthy. So I need to give an example for this. So I think 99% of us do the mobile recharging only through internet, right? So what we used to do, either it is Vodafone or Jio, we are going to the Google website and just putting recharge this number, and we are getting hundreds and 200 websites, which is like Razorpay, JioPay, etc., etc. There are many websites in which you can able to transact the amount. So what we used to do, most of us used to do is, we will be clicking on the first link, then we will be transacting the amount. But that is not the way we have to do, right? So how we can prevent is that we should check for the lock in the URL. If the lock is locked in the URL, that means it is a secured URL, right? So check for the lock in the URL whenever you are entering into it. So invest in VPN. It gives online privacy. Create a private network from public internet. So this is the best way of preventing. Next is drive-by download. So drive-by download attack, in the sense, it is unintentional downloading. That is, you may not, that is, okay, I am not, somebody would be saying, I have not clicked any email, I have not downloaded any software, but my system is infected. Yes, this is drive-by download attack. If you are visiting any website, you may not know that that website may cause some viruses to attack your systems. Okay, so that comes under drive-by download attack. Everything can be prevented using your firewalls. So firewalls, it's not only enough that you need to install a firewall, definitely you need to update your firewall. Okay, malvertising, it is more or less like the adware what I have already told. This can be any ad on your site which you use as a part of a internet usage. So is the name we in the security industry give to criminally controlled adverts which intentionally infects people's and business. It mostly infects the business. Okay, so it is a growing problem in the field of cyber security. It works in the same method which involves advertising. And how we can prevent this malvertising is, you can install ad blockers are there and regular software updates, etc. We can prevent this malvertising by this method. And this rogue software, there is another software is rogue software. It is defined as a malware. It is designed specifically to damage or disrupt a computer system. It not only damages, it also steals the information like confidential informations like credit card. So the prevention is, as usual, we need to update the firewall and use efficient antivirus. Now we come to the most important part of our session, how the AI is useful for preventing from cyber attacks, right? Okay. So AI and ML, most commonly used as cyber tools. In the year of 1970, the expert systems have come. Expert systems have come. So this acts as an expert in knowledge stored. Okay. So maximum, this is based on knowledge-based evidence. It is mostly used in medicines, in medicinal purposes, etc. Next comes the autonomous system. It focuses on autonomy and mobility. So maximum we can see like that machine-oriented like robots, etc. comes under this autonomous system. And without man-handling vehicles, cars, etc. comes under this autonomous system. And next is the augmented reality. It is a computer-generated object which coexists. For example, you can see the Pokemon, etc. These all comes under the augmented reality part. And neural network, this is the most important part in artificial intelligence, because we are using a sequence of algorithms and series of algorithms to recognize the relation. The common sense, I can tell like the artificial intelligence or the common sense is nothing but the neural networks, because these will take the decision. The decision making is your neural networks, and the neurons are the decision makers. Okay. So how artificial intelligence and artificial learning and machine learning technology is used in adaptive access. Okay. So adaptive access, I can tell about the behavioral modeling. So what do you mean by behavioral modeling? That is, we need to have some facts, the previous facts, and based on the past data, it is going to predict the future. As we are going to do in our research, based on the facts, we are collecting, we are analyzing, and we are predicting after 5 years what it is going to be, after 2 years what it is going to be. The same thing is what it is implemented in artificial learning in the way of behavioral modeling. So AI, that is artificial intelligence, can be applied to real-time modeling of net nodes, log and audit files and all network traffics. This is used by financial institutions to estimate the stock shares, etc., to estimate the future behavior. Here, the past data is used to predict the future behavior. Okay. Next is artificial intelligence or machine learning in vulnerability detection. This is most important, and most interesting thing. So in cybersecurity, there is a term called 0 day. So what is that 0 day? 0 day refers like when a new form of vulnerability is discovered, that day is called as a 0 day. So now what is the next thing we have to do? The next thing is we have to form a security patch. So a security patch is nothing but the software vendor is used to produce a patch, and once the patch is produced, the softwares and the end users must install and verify the patch, and security vendors must also update the attack detection and signature. So this is done by the software vendor. So 0 day attacks, artificial intelligence modeling can mitigate risk of having new malware that has no defined signature. So this is about the vulnerability detection and how the cyber security there is related with the 0 day attack. Next, we will move on to the defensive part of the artificial intelligence. So the defensive part is first is malware detection. So we have seen what is malware, how it is being detected. And next is the anti-spam. Third one is the data classification, vulnerability management, threat intelligence. Okay, so data classification, we can classify whether it is going to be a real-time data or it's not, and how it can be being processed further. Next is offensive artificial intelligence. It involves malware creation, which is no way it is going to be offense. Malware creation is an offense. Smart botnets is an offense because it is going to just threat you. Spear phishing, conditional attacks, these are all called as offensive artificial intelligence. Next, applications of, one second, I have my charge list, so I can stop my video here. Applications of AI in cybersecurity. So first is your secure user authentication. So what is your secure user authentication? That is, I can say, you will be having an example like risk engine monitors. Okay, so this risk engine monitors where number of factors is used for logins over time and eventually build a profile for each user to understand the login patterns. So the login patterns are used such that based on the login patterns, the artificial intelligence assesses these variable factors and determine the result score for the current login attack. Okay, so this is what about secure user authentication. Next is the botnet detection. So we have already seen what is botnet is. Botnet is the connection of the systems in a network that is which is connected. So in this type of botnet detection, the clustering, hybrid and classification approaches are adapted to detect the botnet. Okay, so clustering, I think you all know, the same sort of systems will be clustered, and hybrid is different sort of systems. So this is what about botnet detection. And next is hacking incident forecasting, that is using machine learning approaches where detecting or understanding when hacking can really take place, and that is what hacking incident forecasting is. Okay, that it is forecasting the incident of what this is happening to, going to happen to. That is the purpose of this machine learning. Next is a network intrusion detection and prevention. So it is a network base. We can say it is a detection system which detects malicious traffic on the network. So it detects what are all the system and what are all the traffic and how to analyze it. Everything will be taken care of this network intrusion detection and prevention. Next is the spam filter application. So I think everyone would have known what is a spam. It is like collaborative spam filters use feedback and collective memory of a group of users to build a database. So in this database, you can identify the spam. Okay, this is your spam filter application. And next is the fraud detection. Most important in machine learning is fraud detection, where the machine learning platform can enhance the packing for detection by helping the data analytics software to recognize the fraud. So how it helps in data analytics software? It is there, that is everything is there. I can say a little bit converted to artificial intelligence, like with the help of outlier analysis. So I believe you know what is outlier, like an odd man out, that I can tell it as an outlier, right? Picking up the odd man out. So with the help of the data analytics software to recognize the potential fraud cases while avoiding exceptional deviations from the particular norm. So this is your fraud detection. So these are the main applications of artificial intelligence in cybersecurity. That is, you are securing your user authentication with the help of the keystrokes and botnet detection. You are controlling your traffic analysis, hacking incident forecasting, how you are forecasting your hacking, network intrusion detection and prevention, spam filter application, where the collective memory of group of users is used to build the database, and fraud detection. This is nothing but selecting using your outlier analysis by using your data analytics software. So the next one is use cases which are used in AI or ML in cybersecurity. Okay, so what are use cases? There are 5 different use cases which are used in artificial intelligence. We'll be seeing just a broad view of what are they. The first one is machine learning to detect malicious activity. That is, machine learning, as the name indicates, I told you, it is an algorithm. This will help the business to detect the malicious activity faster and stop attack the way before they get started. So before you are getting into the problem, it is going to give you an alarm that there is some suspicious activity. Okay, there is some malicious activity. So this is what machine learning to detect malicious activity is. And next one is AI-based threat mitigation. That is, there are some embedded network appliances which are a scalable network. That means it can be extended or it can be reduced. Okay. The security platform capable of providing hardware and software foundations for network security. It includes artificial intelligence or deep learning mitigation. And there are appliances that serve or support high performance threat protection. So this is artificial intelligence based threat mitigation. And the next one is machine learning to analyze mobile endpoints. So this is a most important, I can say, activity, because we are driving into different mobile phones, different platforms, most improved voice-based experiences on the lives of Google. So there is an application for security too. So this is most important use case, that is machine learning to analyze mobile endpoints. And the next one is security analyst augmentation. That is, for example, historically speaking, we have to spend hours and hours compiling threat analysis report, which are more about awareness and understanding the mitigating risk. So it is very crucial for any organization to analyze the threat environment and hire security analyst according to the augmentation purpose. Okay, so the method of hiring the security analyst for some purpose, you call it a security analyst augmentation. And the last one use case is machine learning to enhance human analysis. That is, at the heart of machine learning in security, there is a belief that it helps human analysis with all aspects of job, including human detection, malicious attacks, analyzing the network, endpoint protection, and vulnerability assessment. So these are the things have to be taken care by this use case, machine learning to enhance human analysis. Okay, so this is more important use case I can tell. And one more, I think we are moving into the end of today's session. The futuristic AI or ML for cybersecurity. That is AI in cybersecurity framework, cybersecurity threat actors AI-based cybersecurity solutions, model for AI-based cybersecurity solutions, and what happens if AI becomes self-aware. I think we need a separate session for this. What happens if AI becomes self-aware? I think we can have just a 2 minutes video, interesting video. What happens if AI becomes self-aware? Okay, I think you can just
When I was a student, I'd write long essays that I'd work on for days, but now I'm writing short.
I think you can see the video, right?
Scientific breakthrough of our time, making its way
No, video is not visible.
industry.
Video is not visible. Okay, fine.
Even so, after 70 years of research,
Okay. So with this, I can think like I can end this session.
Ma'am, you can give the link of a video in the chat box.
Okay, fine, ma'am.
Possible.
Yeah. I've just given the link of this video. So I think this may be the next thing, like what happens if AI becomes self-aware in this, right? So to end with, I thank, like as I told you, while you are there in the artificial intelligence world, like whenever you are entering into a house, you can see like I don't want any security to be there. I want my air conditioner to be switched on before I come inside, and everything is there. So that is done with the help of AI. But we have to be more secure. As we are in the digital world, there are more number of hackers, and we should not give way for them to enter into it. So thank you very much. So before I should thank the coordinator of Cyber Cell, Dr. Ranjit sir, and the committee members, and again I think Kumda ma'am is there. Thank you, ma'am, for this session. Thank you very much. And the committee members of Cyber Cell, Assistant Professor Radhika ma'am, Aja Hasan sir, Aishwarya ma'am, for continuing this active path. And I also thank my BCA students, as Honorable Vice-Chancellor has told, that participative learning should be there, right? So we all participated yesterday about this cyber security, and I think our BCA students know well about this. And with the help of BCA students, I have presented today. Thank you, students. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Deepa ma'am, thank you for such an enlightening session. I think many of us will go and change the passwords today, I guess. So we need to change your passwords. I think it has been 4 or 5 years we're using the same password. And the concept of zero hour in the cyber security is such a new thing for us. We haven't heard about that. Thank you for the speech, ma'am. We'd like to hear more from you in upcoming sessions. I think you will make yourself available for many sessions, such an especially explaining about the cyber literacy in banking systems.
Definitely.
Thank you for that. I like to invite our registrar, Dr. Ranjit sir, to share some of the thoughts about today's program. I think our registrar sir needs no introduction. He's a man of simplicity and patience and diplomacy, and everybody knows him. And also, ironically speaking, he's workaholic and a person of time management too. So I think he's not comfortable regarding this formal introduction. So without much delay, I welcome Dr. Ranjit sir to share his thoughts.
Thank you, Radhika, very much for that, for allowing me to speak and for that small introduction which you have given. A brief introduction. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். இன்னைக்கு வந்து தீபலட்சுமி மேம் ரொம்ப அழகா வந்து பேசியிருக்காங்க சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டி அண்ட் ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் சைபர் லாவில் வந்து நான் கொஞ்ச நாளா வந்து டீச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். தமிழ்நாடு போலீஸ் அகாடமியில் கிளாஸ் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கேன். வேரியஸ் அதர் கவர்மெண்ட் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸில் இன்வைட் பண்ணும்போது நிறைய கிளாஸ் எடுத்திருக்கேன். ஸோ நிறைய நானும் எடுத்திருக்கேன், நிறைய அதர் பீப்புளோட லெக்சர்ஸும் வந்து ஐ ஹவ் சீன் ஹவு தே ஆர் டேக்கிங், அவங்க என்ன மெட்டீரியல் கொடுக்குறாங்க, என்ன வீடியோஸ் ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணுறாங்க, நிறைய பார்த்துருக்கேன். அந்த அனுபவத்தில், அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸில் வாட் ஐ வாண்ட் டு டெல் யூ இஸ், தீபா மேமோட கிளாஸ் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒரு ஏரியா வந்து அவங்க கவர் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. இன்ஃபேக்ட் lot of problems are today happening because of artificial intelligence and cyber security. இப்போ வந்து ரீசெண்டா கூட ஒரு கேஸ் வந்திருக்கு. A girl was sent lot of her own nude photographs and she herself believed that to be her own and she was wondering how it has come. இது வந்து போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷன்ல எல்லாம் அனலைஸ் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து அவங்க வந்து அந்த டீப் ஃபேக்ன்ற அந்த ஆப் வழியா வந்து வந்த ஒரு இஷ்யூ அது. அதே மாதிரி நிறைய ஆப்ஸ் இன்னைக்கு வருது. இந்த ஆப்ல என்ன பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, they are using artificial intelligence and creating, if you give one person's general photo, they will use artificial intelligence and they will generate a nude photograph or a semi-nude photograph. அப்போ இது வந்து நான் சொன்னது ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் தான். ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு ஆப் பேஸ்ல இப்படி பண்ணலாம். ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் கேன் டூ மெனி திங்ஸ். உங்க பாஸ்வேர்ட் கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம், நிறைய ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ணலாம். ஆனா இன்னைக்கு தீபா மேம் கிளாஸ்ல அழகா வந்து அவங்க என்ன சொல்லியிருக்காங்கன்னா, யூ கேன் ஆல்சோ ட்ரை டு கிவ் சொல்யூஷன்ஸ் ஃபார் சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டி. ஸோ டெக்னாலஜி ஹேஸ் அட்வான்டேஜ் அண்ட் டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜ். டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜை பற்றி தான் எல்லாருமே நெகட்டிவ் ஆட்டிடியூட்ல தான் நிறைய பேர் பேசுவாங்க. அண்ட் இன்னைக்கு வந்து ஒரு பாசிட்டிவ் ஆட்டிடியூட், ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ்ல வர அந்த டெக்னாலஜியை யூஸ் பண்ணி அந்த பாசிட்டிவ் ஆஸ்பெக்டை வந்து அவங்க நிறைய சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. அதனால வந்து இது மாதிரி நிறைய ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் நம்ம பண்ண வேண்டியது இருக்கு. இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் ஸ்டார்டிங்ல நான் ஜாயின் பண்ண முடியல டியூ டு சம் ப்ராப்ளம். பட் இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் வந்து எவ்ரி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வெனஸ்டே வி ஹேவ் அ ஸ்மால் ப்ரோக்ராம். அண்ட் ஆல்சோ நம்ம எப்பவுமே ரிசோர்ஸ் பர்சன் அவுட் சைட்லேருந்து நம்ம இன்வைட் பண்ணி கொண்டு வருவோம். ஸோ டுடே இஸ் அ வெரி குட் டே இன் த ஹிஸ்ட்ரி ஆஃப் தமிழ்நாடு அம்பேத்கர் லா யூனிவர்சிட்டி. We are brought a resource person from our own university. So that is also important. Yesterday, Kumudha ma'am also appreciated me. She's my teacher, and she appreciated me that you have done a good thing. So, Almadi, we have our own faculties should come forward and should do a lot of, be our own resource people. But you vella pono kandipa, because you should not be resource person only in our university. You should be invited also. But at the same time, ungloda resources. கண்டிப்பா நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கும், நம்ம டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கும், நம்ம இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷனுக்கும் கண்டிப்பா யூஸ் ஆகும். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் ஃபார் ஆல் ஜாயினிங். அண்ட் இன் ஃபியூச்சர் ஆல்சோ ப்ளீஸ் ஜாயின். We will be doing different programs on the first Wednesday of every month in that program of Cyber Jagrita Divas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.